Joining me now is CTV's U.S. political analyst, Eric Ham. Good morning to you. Eric, good to see you. So Trump has been signaling more sanctions could be coming and also saying that he's going to speak with Putin. However, it looks like Putin is thumbing his nose at Trump and other EU leaders.
Yeah, that's right. And we know that President Donald Trump has spoken in very truculent terms about sanctions and other recriminations against Russia, only to walk back many of those. And so I think what we're seeing now is President Putin, after that meeting in Alaska with Donald Trump, believes that he has a green light to do what he chooses. And while we know the President Trump has followed through certainly on punitive tariffs against India for buying Russian oil, it is yet where we have seen President Trump actually come down hard on Russia itself, while also castigating India, China, and even European countries for their purchase of Russian oil.
All right, I want to turn now to another subject. Trump has his sights set on Chicago for his next crime crackdown. In fact, I believe we have a graphic we can put up that shows Trump, this was on Truth Social, saying, "I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War," changing the name from the Department of Defense to the Department of War. How's this going over, Eric?
Not well at all. In fact, over the weekend, we saw a number of protests taking place all throughout Chicago, where you had city residents pushing back, saying that they don't want the National Guard and they don't want immigration officials in Chicago. In fact, this morning, we saw where an NBC reporter asked Donald Trump specifically about his efforts to target Chicago. And of course, the president lashed out, calling that reporter a second-rate reporter and saying that she just simply was not nice. But again, what we're seeing here is the president has said that he is planning to go into Chicago. And what we're seeing, at least from many of those residents, is they simply do not want it. And so I think this is setting up, again, another clash between the president and both the mayor and the governor of a blue state and city.
All right, and lastly, I want to ask you about where things stand with tariffs. Over the weekend, the Treasury Secretary, he was on NBC, and he said that there are other ways to impose tariffs, even if they lose the legal battle, and he conceded they may have to pay back some of that money that they've collected.
Yeah, I mean, and a stunning about face by someone so close and so far up in the Trump administration, where they believe that the Supreme Court could actually rule against them. But they do believe that Section 232, which is national security concerns, they believe that would give them the opening to continue many of these tariffs, although they would have to be very specific, and it's unclear, particularly if those tariffs would actually stay in place. But nevertheless, what we're seeing, at least from the administration, is the possibility that they might need to concede and are looking at other alternatives to try to keep most of those tariffs in place.
Eric, thanks for all that. Good to see you this Monday morning.